Hey everyone, welcome to the Couples Take On. I'm Austin, and today I'm going to go over with you my hair follicle testing report because it's very revealing and gives you some very targeted information on how to optimize and take care of your health and health opportunities. Let's get started right now. Let me share my screen. Okay. When you do a hair follicle test, you take out four pieces of hair, but it needs to have the hair follicle with it. And you send it in and they do some analysis on it. And then they generate this 36-page report. And it's based on some technology out of Germany. And this is the Cell Wellbeing Immunity and Wellbeing Plan. So this is a 90-day report. So I'm going to go over and show you what came up for me and how I moved through that and what did I do with this new information. Right here is the plan, and then they have 12 key optimization indicators, cardio support, system support, checking your environmental factors, looking at food additives, looking at foods you eat. And something I really liked about this report was, like when I've had a health opportunity, for example, kidney stones, they were very specific about telling me what not to eat. And then it became really hard to figure out what to eat. And so I really like this hair follicle test because it tells you about what to eat. Now, for example, if you don't like fish, then you could take a supplement like fish oils instead. And of course, work with your doctor. And this isn't medical advice. This is about talking about your health opportunities and how to optimize your health so that you can stack the deck in your favor in our current modern living. So, starting off with this introduction here and then moving into this 90-day action plan. So it prioritizes the things. So on the right side, my main focus areas are gut health and intestinal health and microbial balance within the body. So that's on the top right here. Some foods that maybe I should avoid would be like crab, kiwi, tuna, spelt, safflower oil, mulberry, wheat, alcohol, wine, and trout. Now, I don't really eat much of those anyway. I do avoid gluten, so seeing that there was interesting. Now, this isn't like a food allergy thing. This is telling you what to restrict, like things that your body might not be just digesting well at the moment. So based on this optimization report, basically it says that I need to focus on fatty acids. And remember how I told you that if you don't feel like eating fish, then you could take fish oils like omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, or you can eat things like hemp nuts, which have a lot of the balance of the omega acids. The second thing that came up for me with a P, you see the letter P, that's a priority thing also would be environmental challenge. What came up in the report from me was right here in red, environmental challenges, toxic metals. And so I'm not sure if that's from working on cars, being around gasoline, being around diesel, working as a chemist, working as like in a plating factory, or just from if I'm cooking in aluminum pans or whatever. I'm not sure, but it showed up. So when it shows up, then you have to look at it and see how you can address it. So antioxidants, it's talking about I should probably take ALA, alpha lipoic acid, to try to help with antioxidants, vitamin C, carotenoids. For resistance, it's saying that fungus. So basically, it's saying that in the bacterial microbiome balance, I had some overgrowth of fungus and I needed to take a look at that. So then here it says foods to eat, foods to avoid. So that's very helpful. Okay. So the next thing is for system support. So the first thing to take a look at is gut health, then microbial balance, and then my immune system. Those are like the priority items that are earmarked. The analysis ends up giving you a score. And if you have 1 to 19, you have your body's in a pretty good place. 20 to 34, you probably need a little bit of support. And if it's over 35, you need quite a bit of support. And my value came up at 101. So it's okay, what are the major things I need to take care of? More vitamin C, more iron, alpha lipoic acid, omega-6 fatty acids, work on my intestinal health, gut, toxic metals, fungus, environment, sugar, and barley. So those are areas to work on. So like this is super revealing, and it's okay, great. You got all this information about this hair follicle test. Now what are you going to do about it? Okay. So for my gut, it came up with 27, so I need a little support there with getting more histidine, which is an amino acid. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the supplements in a minute, but like basically what food and what supplements can you eat or ingest to stack the deck in your favor? And in my case, how do I help my gut? And how do I also have more balance with my microbiome in my body? Okay, so basically it's saying in the first 90 days, take care of your gut by having more of these foods: onions, asparagus, garlic, leeks, beets, cabbage, tomatoes, berries, bananas, apples, whole grains, chia seeds, flax seeds. So that's really helpful because it's telling me what I could eat instead of all the things not to eat. And so I really like this report for that reason. And of course, it said stay away from, on the bottom, I'm sorry, in the table, the first part is prebiotics. The second part is probiotics, like foods or supplements that would help with that. Then the optimization protocol: aloe vera, collagen, ginger, DHA, stuff like that. And then at the end, it tells you what to avoid. So it's telling you everything you could do or should do, and then a little section of what to avoid: gluten, sugar, processed foods, and alcohol. And this was interesting. It said, avoid things that have titanium dioxide. So I'm like, okay, so if you see, that usually helps make foods more white in color. And so if you avoid processed foods, you're probably going to avoid titanium dioxide, right? Okay, so the reason they want you to optimize your gut health is that would help with sleeping and reducing stress, having more energy, digesting better, feeling better, all that. Okay. So frequency interference stuff. So for me, this didn't come up so much as it did for Shelley. This is about radiation exposure from your phone, from your computer, from power lines, from maybe you work in a medical facility and there's equipment that has like radioactive imaging or something. So these are the things to take a look at, like electronic pollution, right? Okay, there's some more about that. For vitamins, it gives you a breakdown of which vitamins maybe you need more of, or because it's like trying to give you a balance. And so it comes up and it shows you where you need to balance your vitamins a little bit more. And then for me, for minerals, what came up is I need more iron, I need more chromium, boron, and lithium. So it's interesting. I didn't expect the iron. That was interesting. We do eat in cast iron pans, so I'm not sure why that came up. Doing a little deeper dive, I can figure that out. The chromium is helpful with sugar and metabolism regulation. And remember, if I don't eat as much sugar and I process sugar better, then my gut biome will do better because then I'm not feeding the microbiome that shouldn't be there. Boron helps with that also. And take a look here for a little bit more details. What's great here is it on the bottom right corner, it shows you what foods you could eat that help with those particular minerals. So it's like, I really like that it shows you what foods you can eat instead of telling you what not to eat, because I found that really challenging. Okay, so part of the optimization cycle is, for me, it's I need to have more GLA, gamma linoleic acid, and then it like cascades around to the other ones. But starting with that one. Okay, it says here I can eat, let's see, non-vegetarian, sardines, salmon, shrimp, mackerel, herring, and trout. But my other part of the report said avoid trout. Of these items, I'm probably most interested in salmon, mackerel, or herring. I usually don't eat shrimp. They say to avoid shrimp or crustaceous type sea life if you had a history of kidney stones. So I'm just like, well, what would I want to eat? Oh, okay. Sardine, shrimp, mackerel, and herring. Good. I've got 4 out of 6 choices. Perfect. Vegetarian items, flaxseed, walnuts, tofu, hemp seeds, hemp nuts. I actually like all of those. So I'm open to taking any or all of those by eating them. I have personally found that with my body does best when I take supplements by eating the food to get it. Some people do really well with supplements. So you have to figure out what works best for you. So antioxidants, those are really important for scavenging free radicals and trying to optimize your health. So in this particular one, it said I need to prioritize carotenoids, anthocyanins, ALA, the alpha lipoic acid, and then also vitamin C. That kind of surprised me a little bit, but then I realized everyone thinks oranges have the most vitamin C, but bell peppers have a lot there too. So I'm like, what can I do to eat a little more to stack the deck in my favor? What was interesting is some of these things also showed up on my DNA Inside Tracker data of some of the food items that I should eat more of based on DNA expression and the enzymes that my body would make naturally from my genetic makeup. So I thought so it's like interesting and also great that the hair follicle test is very much aligning with the DNA data from that I did with 23andMe. Okay, so then antioxidants, foods that you can eat, peppers. I like peppers, blueberries, cranberries, tomatoes, nuts, seeds, and spinach. So for me, with working with my doctor and stuff, knowing that spinach has some oxalates, like I'll eat that with a little bit of cheese, right? To bind up the oxalates with calcium oxide, or I'm sorry, calcium oxalate. Broccoli, cabbage, apricots, salmon, sardines, onions, and garlic. I like all of that stuff. So I'm totally down to eat more of that. So you see, this is a 36-page report. There's a lot. Amino acids. So you see how the box is a little bit bigger around histidine and aspartic acid? That means I need to have more of those. And so if I'm not getting those from the proteins that I'm eating, I would need to supplement for that. And recently I started a supplement from Green's Nutrition called Perfect Aminos. And that's a way for me to get more of those into my body. Okay, so how do I get more amino acids from foods? Meat, dairy, seeds, lentils, chickpeas, green vegetables, grains, nuts, spirulina, poultry, seafood, onion, garlic, peppers. So I really love that it's telling you what to eat because I found that really like challenging when my HMO doctors for the kidney stone were like, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. I'm like, what the fuck do I eat? And I thought that was super helpful. Now we covered the gut stuff. Now this is the environmental factors. So it's saying that I'm exposed to some sort of toxic metals. So what am I going to do about it, right? Maybe when I fuel up, maybe I should wear gloves. Maybe this is coming in on some food items. For a while there, I was eating like, like tuna and stuff. Like sometimes that comes through with mercury. I'm not sure. We got to do a deeper dive. But it's this hair follicle test is bringing your awareness to things that you should have a look at, things that might not show up on your blood test. Many people go to the doctor and they're like, oh, blood work looks great, but then they're struggling and they do a hair follicle test and then they have a little bit more of a pointed approach of what to take a look at. Things I can do to help me with the heavy metal, basically heavy metal detox. Beets, sweet potatoes, lemons, leafy greens, apple, garlic, onions, nuts, seeds, probiotics. I also know that to get metals out of your body, you need to chelate them. That means to grab them. And how I can also do that would be like cilantro is known well for helping with that, or cilantro oil. So now to optimize some of the factors to reduce the load, what am I going to do with the fungus in my body? So I know that if I eat more green leafy vegetables and microgreens and stuff like that, I can get rid of the heavy metals. Now, what am I going to do with my gut biome and my body that's having fungus? What I ended up doing is doing a quick detox, like not a crazy detox, but set up your gut with some aloe, do some juicing, clear out your gut so that when you take supplements, your gut already is clear. Some people would also do colon hydrotherapy or enemas or stuff like that. You could start where you feel comfortable and based on what your healthcare team and doctor are recommending. But what I did is did a little detox and then I took a candida cleanse, candida like yeast, fungus, and I took it for about 3 weeks. And on the third week, I pooped out some poop that had white coating on it. And so I asked the lady that was helping me with the hair follicle test, and she said, yeah, other people report similar when they finally get rid of the fungus. And so that was good to know. That was a good marker. And like having a visual indicator to see that it was gone was nice. And then I finished off the rest of the supplements for the Candida cleanse. And I noticed that like my skin feels better, it's less itchy, my body feels better, I seem to be digesting better as well. And so now you can see at the top of this report, it was done about 3 months ago. And so I'm coming up on my 90 days and I'm just wondering, okay, I'd like to check again and monitor my progress. Like, it's good to have data to see how you're doing. Okay. So see, we have a 36-page report and we're at page 25 now. So some foods that would help, like it lists out some more foods that will help me. Um, some food restrictions of things maybe to avoid, but I don't eat this stuff very much anyway, so I felt pretty comfortable with that. The only thing for me to watch out for is like salad dressing and watching out for that safflower oil. Now here's the food additive avoidance. Like here's the titanium dioxide I mentioned earlier, but also said watch out for cellulose, sucroglycerides, iron 2 gluconate, some sort of starch phosphate, modified starch, tartaric acid, aluminum, ammonium, something. So if you eat like food from your garden or your farmer's market, it's probably likely that you wouldn't be having these things. So bring it to your awareness and like go from there. Like they say, do your best and bless the rest, right? So here's the optimization plan. So first step, avoid those 10 items, which was easy because I don't really eat those anyways. Second step was extra information. If you open all these, it'll open PDFs of extra information. So it's like optimize setting up your set and setting so that you can flow through it most comfortably. And then step 3 is the optimization process, like then like detox and taking the supplements because you want to clear your gut and your body to get rid of stuff so that it's ready for the new food, the food that your body wants, and the supplement that your body wants. Okay, and then so for optimization of various minerals or compounds you need, it tells you what you could eat, and I found that very helpful. And finding ways to put it into practice by making some meal plans. Basically, my top 2 things were like uh, dealing with the fungus and dealing with the toxic metals by eating these various things, including wheatgrass and probiotics, stuff like that. How do you optimize? By eating better food that works with your body. Okay, and then here's the part that would be great to do. Day 1. How do you feel? Where are you at? Just go through this, mark it out, total it up. Day 30, how you doing on day 30? What's going on? Day 60, how you doing with all this? And then day 90, that way you have the data to match up with what you're doing so you can integrate the process and figure out what's working well, not so well, and what do you want to try next time. Okay, so remember, what does your nutrient intake look like? What does your food look like? How do you match that with convenience in your lifestyle? And how do you stack up the deck in your favor? Well, you would do things like a little mini detox first to make room for good supplements and good food coming in, right? And check with your doctor. There's a little disclaimer at the bottom. Work with your doctor. Some doctors are really curious and they love this data. It's just not within the usual scope of what they do. Check with them, work with your healthcare team and all of that. and I'm just going to think for a second if I have any final thoughts. So here are my final thoughts. When you take this hair follicle test, be open to the data that you will receive. It's a lot of information, but the information can be used to help guide you based on your hair follicles, because those are rapidly dividing cells in your body. And if you don't have hair on your head, for example, you can use eyebrow hairs, and you can get those follicles from your eyebrows. You can get that data, and then you ask yourself, okay, what's realistic here? One of the fellow providers in this network for healthy cells was like, if I could just get my patient to drink, or my client to drink, one extra glass of water a day, awesome. But there's other people that are like, yeah, I want to do a detox, I'm willing to do a colonic, I'm willing to like give this a full try, I'm willing to like really dive in, and I'm willing to do everything it takes to take care of it, right? And so there's this spectrum of people. And so I like this test because you can meet people where they're at. So like, where are you at? What are your health goals? What are your health opportunities? How do you want to flow into this? What do you want to disintegrate? What do you want to let go of? And what do you want to bring more into your life? And this for me was eye-opening of, oh, I have a little fungus overgrowth. Okay. I did a little detox. I hit it with the supplements. I started feeling better, and I'm noticing it, and I'm charting that, checking those boxes and everything. And then I'm like, okay, how am I doing? And now that I'm at like 90 days, I'm actually at 92. I'm like, okay, I'm curious to get curious about my body and where am I at and where I want to go and what I want to try next. If you'd like to go ahead and do this, we have several different options. One of them is just the hair follicle test mail-in kit only, and I'll drop the link for that. The next option would be the hair follicle test with a mini consult with a doctor of natural health who owns a supplement store, Greens Nutrition. And then the last option would be the hair follicle test, the report, and then a little mini consult with Dr. Green, and then an integration group with me and Shelly to help you make these changes in like the first day, the first week, the first month, so that you can optimize your 90-day plan and carry it out so you can do it. And having some structure and framework and community and other people that are also doing it is very helpful because you can bounce ideas off each other. So 3 options. 1, hair follicle test and report only, just like this report. You read it, you figure it out. The second option would be the report and then a mini consult with Dr. Green of Green's Nutrition. And then the third option would be all of the above and integration group with us. And of course, you can buy all your food at your local farmer's market or your local markets or however you do it. And then supplements, we have some various options for you to get supplements. If you live in Stockton or the Central Valley, we have a collab with Greens Nutrition, or we have some options online to make sure you get the support that you need through this process. And then also, if you're even more curious, we can set up different profiles for different types of testing, including some other tests that go beyond this. So let us know, and we're curious to work with you, and we're happy to be part of your health optimization journey. We'll see you next time. Thank you.